Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another fantastic episode. And today, we're all talking about meetings because both Darren and I fully believe that 2026 is the year of the meeting. So I want us to go back a couple of years, right? So maybe 2-3 years ago, we had the launch of like automation, and that was the in thing. Then 24, 25 was all about AI, and then it started to become a bit about efficiency. And I think we can probably all agree that I think this is going to change over the course of the next few months. I think maybe elements of the AI bubble might not burst, but will be changing to what we have seen in 2025. And we believe that we're going to be talking about meetings and getting your teams face to face even more. So lots of great conversation today between Darren and I talking about meetings and how we can use products and what the guys at Paiger are doing to get those meetings happening and really increase our BD opportunities. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Holly Langley. I am the founder and CEO of Restack. I have an operations background, and nearly 3 years ago, I created Restack to help recruitment companies maximize their tech, and specifically Bullhorn. So we cover training, product optimization, as well as integrations with third parties such as Paiger and website providers to make sure everything comes together so your recruiters have a really good experience when they're in the Bullhorn platform. I've known Darren for a very long time, and we spoke back in my old job all those years ago, and then I bought Paiger when I launched Restack, and I'm really pleased to see how it's moved on as a product. So Darren, please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Holly. Yeah, so hey everyone, I'm Darren. Nice to meet you. I've been in the recruitment industry for coming up to 20 years, but never a recruiter. I'm a tech guy through and through. So I started my career as a software developer at a company called Broadbean, who most people have heard of. Was there for 10 years and became their chief technology officer across EMEA. So, reached the top of my career ladder at the age of 28 and thought this can't be it. So quit my job to start a company, and that was Paiger, and that's 7 years ago now. And Paiger now works with just shy of 1,000 staffing companies across the world. So yeah, my wife's forgiven me for quitting my job. That's basically where we're at.
Sounds good. Yes, it was definitely a shock when I walked home and said to my husband, I'm going to quit my job and set up a consultancy practice. But there we go. It all pays off, right? And I know we both absolutely love what we do. So my question for you, Darren, is obviously, we're here to talk about meetings today. Why do you think meetings are really important from either a BD or like a candidate perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to talk more about BD today than candidates because I just think that's what's on everyone's the end of their tongues, right? And obviously I love technology, right? I am a software developer. I love everything that's coming, but I think we need to realize that what we're craving is human interaction. And I think one of our biggest problems as salespeople, as recruiters, is to showcase the fact that we're real human beings. We should be looking at technology to make us more efficient and stop us doing admin tasks. But one thing I love about the recruitment industry is we've got to remember it's B2B, B2C, and ultimately human to human. And that is what we need to be driving. And that, for me, meetings is the pinnacle, right? The more people you meet, the more money you're going to make. It's about how quickly can you get to those meetings.
I think that's really interesting. And there's a couple of things I want to add on that is when I first set up Restack, I thought to myself, oh my God, this is great. I can work from home. I can work from home 5 days a week, and I can just sit there with my cat and go for a run and a walk all the time. It's going to be great. Anyway, after about a month, I was like, oh yeah, I actually need to go and meet some people. And all the work that we do, whether that is our sales process or actually the work that we deliver, we try and do it face to face because the value that you bring is so much further. We had a client in the pipeline back at the end of last year, and it just wasn't really moving along. And we said to them, fine, look, we'll come in, we'll meet with you. I went into their office about 45 minutes, got my whiteboard out and my pen, and did loads of like strategizing about what they needed from a very high level overview. And we won the client the next day. So it is really, really important. So yeah, I echo what you say. The second element is what I find really interesting is over the last few years, we've been talking about reducing admin. We've been saving sales teams time. So we've been doing this, we've been doing this. And yet no one's really saying, what should they be doing with that additional time? And obviously some recruiters might be doing a 4-day week, but the majority is still working 5 days a week. So what should they be doing? Now, from my point of view, making sure that we're tracking meetings, getting those meetings booked in is what is going to be the game changer and what stands all the recruiters out who I think are going to really succeed this year. the best recruiters I know all have face-to-face meetings regularly. So definitely now is the time to be doing this.
Yeah, and I think it's making an interesting point there, right? You buy technology, you buy whatever you bring into your business, you should be increasing your output. And for me, that looks like KPIs. I know they're dirty words to some people, they're not, right? If anything, it's just whenever you bring something in, go, what's the impact on our KPIs? What one are we going to tweak to go up that we know then leads to more revenue because of this? Well, it could be anything, right? It could be working with you guys that you're going to streamline your back-end processes. It could be a new technology, but something in your outputs need to go up to warrant the investment. You can't just have the investment and stay the same.
Yeah, exactly. Jeremy's just commented. Thank you, Jeremy. He said, double your meetings in 2026, double your billings. Nothing will replace face-to-face this year. There is a skill in positioning a meeting without defaulting to Zoom. Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. So yeah, big up the meetings. And what I would say is that if you're not tracking face-to-face meetings and virtual meetings, like please do split that out because they're both really key metrics to have. And it's also very different to understand the differences because you can have 1,000 meetings, but I'd rather you had 50 that were face-to-face. So do track that out when you're looking at this. So we know the whys, we know how valuable meetings are. Right, Darren, I've heard a rumor, okay? I've heard a rumor that, and you'll know more about this than I do, but we said we're planning this. Like, what can you tell me? And you said, Holly, there's a client and there's a really good story I've got to tell you. And I was like, okay, fill me in. So my understanding is you have got a client who moved on to Paiger, and they've recently been able to book like 7 client meetings within literally a few days, a few weeks, off the back of the processes that are solely in Paiger. So I'm going to hand over to you. Tell me more about this. Show me what they did, because I'm sure we all want to replicate that, myself included.
Yeah, absolutely. And it starts with those KPIs, right? And what are the activities you're going to be doing every single week that will actually drive that outcome? And Paiger is the tool to make you be able to do that. So let me share my screen if I can figure out how this works.
I've just realised that's what I was supposed to go with you 5 minutes before. Right at the bottom, there should be a plus button, and it should say share screen.
I believe I've done it.
Okay. Oh yes, I'm going to add that to the stage, guys. There we go. Oh my gosh, that was almost seamless. Right, over to you.
We're on fire.
And I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to remove. There we go. Nice and big. There we go. Over to you.
Beautiful. Yeah. So the big thing with Paiger is about a multi-channel approach. So when it comes to good quality business development, obviously the phone is king. We've all heard that, right? But actually, there's more nuances to it these days. We need to make sure that you are regularly building your personal brand on LinkedIn, not so that you can become an influencer, but so that when people view your profile off the back of your BD activity, they actually go, yes, this is somebody I can trust with my business. This is somebody I can trust with my career. So let's start there, and then we're going to layer on this multi-channel approach and how we're going to identify new clients to actually pick up the phone, to go and meet them, etc. But let's start with posting. So from inside Bullhorn, you can open up Paiger and go to start a post. So without leaving Bullhorn, you don't have to go to LinkedIn. You can actually schedule your LinkedIn post in advance. You don't get distracted by the news feed. So many people I speak to say, I've just did a post on LinkedIn. Hour and a half later, they're still scrolling the news feed because they've been distracted by videos, right? So let's remove all the distractions from your recruiters. And there's a few things you can do here. You can write from scratch if you know exactly what you want to say. You might have an idea for a post. So in one click, you can actually, let's do a post on why face-to-face meetings are key for sales. And that's going to take that idea and give you 10 different ideas. So straight away now, I can go, yeah, I like this one here, press write post. That will take you into your scheduler where it's going to use AI to write you a first draft of a post all about that idea you've had. So what we say to people is in 10 minutes a week, you can schedule 2 or 3 really good LinkedIn posts on brand, ready to go. But beyond that as well, all of your company content sits in the vault. So if we go to the vault, you'll be able to see all of your case studies, your testimonials, your blog posts, your white papers, all of those lead magnets are sitting there. So what this client's done is they've gone, we expect a minimum of 3 posts a week for every single recruiter. Now that sounds a lot, but it's not when you've got Paiger, because actually you can do it in a 10-minute window on a Monday morning, and you do it all without leaving your CRM. All right. Now that's really, really key. So very quickly now, I could share this post here, press share. So marketers love it because all the content is on brand. You know, there's no people going in Canva and God knows what they do in Canva, right? But also hitting that KPI is really important. One of the key things about KPIs is they need to be reportable. So what you will also see is the leaderboard. So if we head to the C leaderboard, we track how many posts they do, how many likes they get, how many comments they get, and we turn all of that into their social score. The higher the score, the higher they are on the leaderboard. So Well, for the first time, really, we're bringing social selling into the sales floor, into that sales conversation. And the managers, the leadership can use this to actually go, right, we're going to have a carrot and stick approach here, because I'm a believer in both. So the carrot is, if you're top 5 of the leaderboard at the end of the quarter, you get X. But also very quickly, you can scroll down, you can see who probably needs a bit of a kick, who's in red, right? So key thing here is that consistency, posting on LinkedIn.
It's all about that consistency, and it quickly accelerates, doesn't it? And what I love about this is because it's within Bullhorn, as you said, you don't end up going on LinkedIn and getting distracted. I dread to think how many times I go from browser to browser each day, and I probably waste an hour a day just forgetting something, and then before I know it, there was actually something really interesting, and then I missed it because it then refreshed. So I love that's in there, and I think the leaderboard is so important now. Obviously, where we're a very new business over the last 2.5 years, we have said to the team, everybody who joins, outreach on LinkedIn and posting and sharing what we're doing and showing who you authentically are is so powerful, and it works. And I love the leaderboard. I'm going to have to give that a go.
Yeah, and the key thing, if you are a Bullhorn user, that leaderboard can be plugged into Bullhorn Analytics TV. So in your offices, if you've got those TV screens up, put the Paiger leaderboard on it as well. And again, it just brings marketing into that conversation, which is so key. The next part of this strategy that we've implemented with this client is to make sure you're talking to the right people at the right time. So many people, I think, spend time doing BD. They've got their BD blocks, they've got their hour, but who are you actually speaking to in that time? And for me, there's 2 people you should be speaking to. People that are actively hiring right now. So let's start with that. Let's jump into find vacancies. So a couple of things you can do from here. You can search by job title. Let's do Java developer. Why not? In London. Now you can filter by different contract types. You can filter between remote, etc. And we've also got advanced filters, which I'll come on to in a second. But if we press find vacancies, now we are searching across the internet, thousands of different websites at this point, and we are saying to you, people, right, who's hiring for Java developers in London? And then we're removing roles from other staffing agencies. So you're left with roles from direct employers. If you happen to see an agency, just press the report as agency button. And we're using our thousands of recruiters to use the platform every single day to train the algorithm better. You can even block companies. So let's say you had an argument with IG Group. I don't know what you did, Holly, but you just can't get onto the PSL. Yeah. You can block them and they won't come up in your future searches. But the key thing with this is you can add it to your daily alerts. So BD needs to be something that you do every single day. It can never be an afterthought. So every single day, Paige is going to say to you, these clients are hiring in your space. You need to go and work these opportunities, which I'll show you how to do in a second. One other thing I just want to show you, though, is searching by company name. So if we do Barclays in London. Now, the problem with searching for Barclays is they're going to recruit for customer service reps, claim handlers, everything, probably everything in the world, right? But I'm a big believer that generalist recruitment is dead. Sorry if you're a generalist recruiter. I apologize. No, I don't really. It's dead. So you need to be able to say, I specialize in something. Let's say I specialize in marketing analytics, yeah? These advanced filters are so powerful. So I'm just going to do marketing analytics here and then press that button again. What I'm saying now is I want my assistant, I want Paiger to tell me any roles from Barclays in London where marketing analytics is mentioned in the job title or description. So very quickly now, you're training your assistant to do all that heavy lifting for you, so you can spend more time having conversations, spend more time going to meetings. So for me, this is probably the second thing you need to be doing. And it all sits on your dashboard inside Bullhorn. All of your vacancy alerts sit here. So very quickly now, I can see, right, the last 24 hours, there's been 11 new product manager roles go live, 7 new project manager roles go live. And this should be built into their daily routine. So they're posting every single day. They're looking at vacancy alerts every single day.
What's also really powerful about that is, let's say, using the Barclays example, you might currently work project management roles with Barclays and that's all you do for them. However, you might also be able to support marketing functions or finance functions. So you can use this to really understand their hiring trends and what they're hiring for, to then open up and land those accounts. So when you do have a face-to-face meeting with them, you can kind of come through and say, look, we've serviced 500 project management jobs for you in the last year. However, did you know we also do marketing? Did you know we also do finance? We could have helped you cover these roles as well. So there's so much knowledge and information you can get from this to sort of tell your clients how you can support them more.
The thing is, every time I speak to people, they say, oh no, I've got a really good relationship with my clients. When they're hiring, they tell me.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you that's nonsense. I'm sorry, they don't. Right. So you'd like to think they do. They probably have the best of intentions to do it. But so many people say to us, I got told about a client I've already got terms signed with, they're hiring for this role, and I've managed to put someone forward to the role. I didn't even know about it. And it's because of a pager alert. Yeah. So make sure you get these set up. It's so, so key. And I said about speaking to people at the right time. Vacancy alerts are great because that's people that are hiring right now. But ideally, you're speaking to these people before they've even had a chance to know they're hiring themselves, right? There's always trigger points. And you should think, what are the triggers that mean they're going to be scaling their business? And these will sit in your market signals here, and you set them up under market intel. So if we jump into market intel, what I love about this is from here, we can alert you to people that have been through rounds of funding in your space, government projects that have been won, senior hires that have been announced, expansions, acquisitions. The same way you use Boolean to find great candidates, you can use it to find these great companies. And again, you add that to your daily alert. So every single day, you're told that this company's just raised £4 million. They're going to need your services in the next 3 to 4 months. Add them on LinkedIn, nurture them with your LinkedIn posts, research the business, which we're going to come on to. But the key thing is all of this is done for you every single day. So all you've got to do is read one email from Paiger, log into your Bullhorn account, and it's sitting right there for you. And that's when you can actually say, right, I'm going to spend my day doing actionable BD rather than spending my time doing the research, doing the admin hard graft. It's all sitting there for you. And that's how this client has managed to accelerate the number of face-to-face meetings. I do want to jump in a little bit more, but I just wanted to to give you a second. I know I'm talking about, so.
No, I think that's fascinating. And I think what I think is my favorite thing that you've touched upon is the two different strategies for people who are actively hiring and then the market intel that covers across the whole sort of BD funnel. My advice would be to anybody who uses this or is kind of doing the BD element is split that out. So when you're doing blocks of BD, speak to people who are actively hiring, look at the people who have got the market intel, lapsed clients, for example, and have 30-minute slots for actively hiring BD, marketing intel BD. So you're really, really focused because there's some fascinating insights that you'll be able to get from the marketing intel, but that's probably not a 10-second job. You do need to understand it. So having that really blocked out in your diary will mean that you've got time and the forecasting to digest it and then have a bit of a plan of action. But I really like the way that's segmented out. And right. And again, I love it because it's all in Bullhorn. It makes so much sense for your recruiters to have this here. They're not having to scroll out and go outside onto LinkedIn or somewhere else. It's in one place, which I think is really valuable.
Well, let me show you how we go a step further, because I'm going to deep dive now in how you use it inside actual Bullhorn records. So if we jump to the menu, let's start with companies, and let's have a look at. Let's use checkout.com. I think we've got saved in here.
And I'm going to make the assumption that between like the Paiger integration and everything in Bullhorn, it's really easy to set up.
Yes, I mean we've had clients that have onboarded literally the same day. So yeah, very easy, very easy. But one of the key things I want to show you is these tabs here. So you'll see a new tab on your company record called Research. And this is all about preparing you for the best cold call, there should be no such thing as a cold call when you've got access. It should be a warm call because you're going to do your research and know everything about the business. So in one click, without leaving Bullhorn, we've asked AI everything it knows about the business. What's the service they offer? When was it founded? Who founded it? Funding rounds, that sort of thing. Underneath that, you've got any news articles that mentions them. So I can see that they've just done partnerships here and there. They've had a bit of a breach. I probably won't mention that. Any podcasts they mentioned on, so I can click play, listen to the podcast, understand market sentiment about them. And then what roles they've got live as well. So I can see where they're scaling up the business right now. They're hiring for that staff product manager. And if I go back to the top, I've got potential decision makers as well, which I can then research the individual, see if they've been mentioned in the news. Are they mentioned in any podcasts? So straight away, before I've even picked up the phone, I know everything that's going on about this business that's in my CRM. And if I need to find out how to email people, I can click on emails, find contact information, what technologies they use. But it's a really key tab because a best call is something that you've done preparation for, right? And I used to end up with 40 different tabs open on my laptop to do this much prep. Now I click one button, and with Bullhorn, you don't even have to leave the CRM, right? It really is insane. But the next tab is vacancies. So straight away, let's say I've got a client, I want to see, right, have they got any vacancies at the moment? Just press the find vacancies button, it will pull through their name, their headquarter location straight from the Bullhorn record, and it will plug into our vacancies feature and surface them for you. So without leaving the Bullhorn record, you've done all of your prep straight away about your clients. Now, the final one is outreach. So once you've done all your prep, obviously you're going to pick up the phone, but email used to be queen, right? King was phone call, and email used to be queen. I've had to relegate email down to princess. And the reason for it is AI. I get hundreds of personalized emails to my inbox, right, saying, "Hi Darren, hope the weather's nice in England." I'm like, yeah, of course it is, lovely, always. So what you can do here is you can actually record a video and personalize that outreach, and you can send it to them by email. So we're seeing a much higher response rate. So where that client's trying to break through the AI noise, they're using Paiger to do that, and it's really driving it because they're doing good researched outreach, good old school BD, but done in an efficient way.
And I think the videos, I think the video stuff is just great. Like, you're right. Like, I think I found out the other day something along the lines of 365 million emails got sent last year, and this year it's going to get to 500. Sorry, did I say million? Billion. 500 billion emails are going to go this year. So look, email campaigns and marketing is still fantastic, but you need yours to stand out. So having something that is really bespoke and like a video, like I would actually watch that because I would know that someone has personalized it and put a bit of effort in. So I'd say it's well worth spending an extra few minutes creating and building something to really like actually get value back and ROI from what you're doing.
And that's what this client's seeing. They're seeing that if they do their research, if they do good quality BD to the right people at the right time, using those triggers, and they use video as a way to differentiate themselves, they are seeing the results. And I think we need to remind ourselves that, you know, recruitment wasn't always easy, right? I don't think it's ever been easy other than the blast out of COVID. I think we're just seeing a bit of a, this is life and this is how it has been. And we need to get back to good old school BD. But when you layer in tools like Paiger, actually you can be so more efficient with less headcount.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing I would say on this is, in my old company, we really pushed recruiters doing video. And what would happen is on a Monday, they'd all be too scared to do it. And then on a Thursday or Friday, they'd realize they needed to send 5 BD video pitches. So they'd all go off to a meeting room individually and spend 2 hours there recording videos. And then I kind of realized this one day because I didn't want to have it in the background of the office. So we kind of then said to them, guys, do you know what? It's a video pitch. It doesn't need to be perfect. If you're going to have a phone call with someone, guess what? It's not going to be perfect. If you're going to come on and do a webinar, guess what? It's not going to be perfect. It's okay. You just need to get something out that is adding value to them and is still a good quality. So get a good headset, show them that you're in an office that's got a bit of a buzz, screen share, whatever that's going to be. It's not got to be perfect, guys, but
no. Yeah. In fact, I think perfection gets less response. I think people want to work with humans. Let's just remind ourselves why we said right at the start, right? We're a human to human industry. Don't be afraid to show your human side. Talk about your cat, you know, whatever it is. But do your research on that company and do it quickly, right? Because it's all about how much BD can you do that's good quality, right? I think so many people focus on volume and then they forget the quality. Or you focus on quality, you don't get the volume, right? This, for me, what Paiger is designed to do is give you the right middle ground so you actually see the results, and that's what people are seeing. There is one last channel, though, that I want to talk about. And some people will tell you it's dead. I'm here to tell you it's not. And actually, our clients get fantastic results from it, and that is speculative CVs. If you're not sending specs right now, what are you doing? I get that it's not sexy. I understand that, but it really does get results. So if you have this 4-channel approach, right, you're going to post regularly on LinkedIn, you're going to go for people that are hiring right now, you're going to go for the triggers that mean they're hiring in the future. But then also, when you've got a really good candidate, let's take them to market. And with Paiger, taking to market is so simple. So there's a few other tabs added to your candidate record. You've got the vacancies you can see, outreach, post, but the one I want to talk to you about is spec CV. Click on this button. It will look at what files they've got associated. And then in one click, it will actually format that CV. So the CV is on the left. You can see very, very boring. But in less than a minute, we've turned it into a marketing document where we've put in the cover page. We've used AI to write the cover sheet for you. We've then got the profile, the skills, the experience, the qualifications. And you can have different templates set up. Editing it is an absolute breeze. It's as simple as Microsoft Word. I'm not going to teach you how to use that. You get things like spelling suggestions, etc. But what I love about here is, yes, you can have that, but you can also have things like one-pagers. So if you haven't got terms signed with that client, in one click, you can turn that candidate into a one-pager document that talks about why they're a good fit, etc. You can then take that candidate to market really, really easily. And once you've finished formatting the CV, click one button and export to CRM. that will write the candidate's CV back to their file section. We'll even include a note so that on Bullhorn Analytics you can see how many CVs have been formatted, etc. So you can do all of your reporting inside Bullhorn. Really killer feature. So formatting CVs that used to take 20, 30 minutes, sometimes an hour, some people have spoken to, or you're outsourcing it and waiting 24 hours. It can be done instantly and beautifully.
Yeah, speed is so quick, and that speed is quick. That doesn't make sense. Speed to hire is changing. We've got to act quickly. And I met someone last week whose main job is to format CVs, and I know that person. There's so many more valuable things that can be done, and that just looks so professional. Like from my point of view, it's really unique it's unique to your business, and it stands out. And it really annoys me if I ever see a spec CV or a CV go out that hasn't got recruiters' details on it. We need to make it so incredibly obvious to the hiring managers where that CV came from to avoid issues down the line. So having something like a really well formatted document that takes seconds is an absolute game changer in so many ways. And I definitely echo that. If you are adding notes into Bullhorn to say like spec CVs have been sent, make sure you follow up on them. So follow up, and you can build further metrics to say spec CV has been sent and there's been no follow up. You can then do that as an automation or as a different analytics metric so that you know that this is being followed through, because I really believe spec CVs are great, but it's all in the follow up as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the key things here is a lot of people I speak to want to break into that contract recruitment. They've been perm. They want to do contract. Contract moves at speed of light, right? So if you want to embrace contract, get the vacancy alerts, these people have put a new contract role live, then you want to be able to take candidates to market. You need to be able to do it instantly. Otherwise, you're going to miss out. So a lot of contract recruiters absolutely love this. But let me show you how it all comes together. So on the right-hand side, you've got the toolbar. You can write a spec email in one click. Literally click one button, it will analyze the CV, write you a spec email, copy slip, would send away. You can write a Boolean search to find similar candidates. You can generate interview questions, but you can also press share, and that will actually write you anonymous LinkedIn posts that you can promote that candidate on LinkedIn. So many people treat LinkedIn like a job board, when actually you need to be treating it as a BD platform and shouting about the talent that you're representing and driving those inbound leads. This is where that multi-channel approach is going to come in. You've got inbounds coming from the candidates. People see you as trusted and credible. You're going to people that are hiring, people that have got triggers, and they're taking candidates to market as well. And obviously you need to send them to some vacancies. So yes, it does plug into our vacancies feature straight away now. Let's see, I don't know who's hiring for a principal dentist, but let's have a look. Let's do London. So take them to market with people you already work with, absolutely. But in one click, we can go, right, who else on the market that I don't know about is hiring for this type of candidate? And yeah, very quickly, we'll have the results. I don't know if anyone's hiring for principal dentists. Yeah, we are.
Well, find out. My sister-in-law is a dentist. I'll ask her. I'll send this CV over. I'll stick her out this afternoon.
And then what you can do here, press contact info, and that will look and go, can we find out their email pattern? Yes, we can. First, last name. But one of my favorite buttons, if you press the speculative button, it will actually read the CV you uploaded, the job advert that we found, and write you the spec email and why that candidate's a good fit for that actual job. So we're talking good quality BD without leaving Bullhorn, all in one place. Consolidate your tech stack, follow this workflow, and then you will end up with more meetings, right? And it really is that.
You're gonna write this, do the spec CV. It's gonna match it against the ad that we're speccing it out to, and then it's going to form one email that you've got here that is basically pairing them up to make sure that then we are sending something relevant to the client based upon their job and the candidate.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And that's what I mean about a multi-channel approach, but without leaving Bullhorn, right? We're almost turning it into a BD machine. And as long as you put in the right KPIs, as long as you put in the right, my inputs, and these are the outputs I want, then that's where you end up with more meetings, more face-to-face meetings. And as Jeremy said right at the start, double your billings.
Yeah, and what I know I'm biased, and that's why we work together, and I've been supporting you to kind of move this along. But the fact that all of that can be done within Bullhorn without anyone having to leave is that's so fantastic, because consultants aren't getting distracted and everything is getting saved and allocated right within here. That I think is really, really important, rather than all of these different data sources that you then locate and then you lose, and then you find it on Google, then you can't find that again. And you thought you saw someone was hiring and they didn't quite. Having that fully wrapped 360 approach right within here is brilliant. I can see very easily how your client books so many meetings from this.
Yeah, and it is about just embracing it. You know, if you actually say, right, we're going to take BD seriously in 26, we're going to stop moaning about the market, because that's what everyone I speak to is doing, when actually there are opportunities out there. You just need to make sure you're looking in the right places and build it into your routine. I think one thing we're missing is consistently good BD as an industry, and we need to get back to it.
I agree with you. And like coming back to what I said earlier on about time blocking is, so some of our clients, recruiters historically don't have a massive like day plan, like maybe let's say. So what we love to say is filter everything out. So yeah, on a Monday, you speak to everyone who's actively hiring. Tuesday, do an hour on your marketing intel. Every day at 3:30, you send out 5 spec CVs. So, and then the next day you follow up at those at 4 o'clock. So like get into that routine, because it really does like all come together. And I think there's so many elements to this. Is the LinkedIn stuff is great. The actively hiring stuff's great. The marketing insights is good. The CV formatting is good. And they all work perfectly well as their own thing. However, if you bring that together, I can very easily see how you can get so many good results from that, because you're having like a single approach that covers all elements of BD. And like my only bit of advice to you, those who are watching, is make sure you track this, because I think it's absolutely fascinating. And when you're getting meetings booked off these approaches, if you're getting a nibble on your spec CV, tell everyone, because this is what we need recruiters to be doing this year, as I'm sure hopefully most of you would agree. And it's really, really essential that we showcase to them how this can be done and the wins that you get from it, because we're not going to get millions of jobs off one spec CV. You never know, I could be wrong, but any nibbles, tips, things that your team can share is going to really like get the success and that sort of that new transition rolling out, so others sort of start wanting to get in on this as well. Because I think if most clients could get, or recruiters get 7 more meetings a month, then I think they'll all be up for this, and we just need to showcase the step-by-step process for them to do it.
Absolutely, yeah. And what I would say to that is track. Everyone I speak to doesn't have like a playbook. I was at an event the other day and we started speaking about playbooks. And like, do you mean a call script? I was like, no, I don't mean a call script. I mean a playbook. So for your people that are early triggers, this is what we do. For the people that are high right now, this is what we do. So put together a playbook, build your tech into it, and that's when you're going to be set up for success. And it was a huge talking point at the event. So build your playbooks and talk about how Paiger fits into it.
Almost like a communication playbook, isn't it? Like how you break everything down and how do you then define those different segments. I love that. That's inspired me. I feel like I need to go and start adding that into our proposals for our clients and doing an audit on it. So watch out. So thank you for that idea. No, that's fantastic. I'm really, really pleased to see how far the product has come on. I am really excited to see just how many meetings and jobs and placements this helps make this year, because I think it's going to be pretty big.
Yeah, we've already early access, early feedback, as you say, has been absolutely incredible. Yeah. So yeah, if you're interested, just head over to paiger.co, click book a demo, and do me a favor and just mention the fact you're watching this webinar so that we can say thank you to Holly.
Oh, no, thank you. Well, thank you for joining us. And what I would say is, if anyone has any questions on any of this at any other point, just give Darren or myself a shout. And Darren, you're going to be around at the Rec Expo in a few weeks' time, aren't you?
I would never miss one. You know that.
I can't wait. So that is 17th and 18th of March, because it's St. Paddy's Day. So I'm sure are you guys going to be like doing like demos and stuff there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll be on the stand. If you try and walk past us, we will stop you, so you will not miss us. One of my biggest bugbears is people that sit down. We have a no sitting rule. So yeah, we'll be there. Don't try and walk past us. We'll catch you. And
if you do get past Darren, then you can come to our stand, and we won't let you pass either. So there we go. But look, thank you so much for joining today. Darren, thank you so much for showcasing everything that you did. There was a lot to take in there. And thank you for being so willing to share with us what's worked for your clients in the past. And bring it on. Let's make 2026 the year of the meeting.
Let's do this.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.